What is happening, man? Welcome to Tuesday training. I am super excited for today's episode because I'm going to blow your mind. I promise. We are going to dive into content creation today. And why is content creation important? Well, it's simple because content creation generates attention. And what is attention? Attention is currency, right? Attention is currency. If you believe in that, comment below. Attention is currency, right? And speaking of commenting below, if you haven't already, be sure and allow Facebook to view your StreamYard comments. That should be a link included in the description of this video above. If not, chances are my good buddy Joe Camper will come in and drop it in the links below me as well, or Lily. But please do. That way I know who you are and you're not anonymous. But this is going to be an awesome video because, again, we're talking about content creation. Content creation generates attention, and attention is currency. Now, if you go online and you ask Google or any other search engine, hey, what is the optimal amount of content that I should be putting out on a daily basis? You're going to see a variety of answers ranging from 3 or 4 pieces of content a day, and you'll find links to articles or quotes from Gary Vaynerchuk saying that you should be putting out 100 pieces of content per day. And if you don't look into the subtext on some of those hits or those links, you'll miss the context of it. That basically those guys that are saying 3 or 4 pieces of content a day, well, they're talking about one platform, right? They're talking about maybe 3 or 4 posts a day on TikTok. Any more than that, you're getting diminishing returns. 3 or 4 posts a day on Instagram, your Facebook business page, YouTube, whatever it might be, right? But my good buddy Luke Acree talks about this, and if you haven't tuned in to Luke Acree's show on Mondays, our Monday Mindset show, you definitely need to check that one out. But he talks about it in regards to frequency, right? Frequency, not only is frequency the number of times that you're hitting your prospect with the message, but it's also the channel or channels that you're using to get your content out, right? So those guys that are saying 3 or 4 are talking about one platform. Gary Vaynerchuk is talking about all the different frequencies or channels that you should be hitting your audience. And the great thing about social media is, well, there's multiple platforms to choose from right there, right? Just in the social media world alone, you've got Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, right? Threads, Twitter. I could go on and on. There's Rumble. I don't know what kind of content you might be putting out there, but maybe you're putting stuff on Rumble. But yes, there are all kinds of channels that you can be getting your content out. And we are going to talk about how you can generate bulk content en masse at a very quick rate, right? That is the topic of today's show. I'm super excited about it, but I want to also make sure to tell you about our sponsor for Tuesday training. You see him in the banners all around this, or the overlay, I should say, but it's MetaZeus. And if you're not familiar with what MetaZeus is, it is a fantastic tool for agents that are out there in the Medicare space, more specifically the Medicare Advantage space, because what MetaZeus allows you to do is keep track in real time of your Medicare Advantage enrollments and plan switches that they might be making. And you only need 3 pieces of data. You need your client's name, their date of birth, and their MBI number. If you have those 3 pieces of information, you can upload them to MetaZeus. It's fully CMS compliant, HIPAA compliant, very private data. It is going to tell you what their current plan is, what their future plan is if they've made any changes, what that effective date is on that future enrollment. And it'll also tell you what level of LIS they qualify for in case that might be something that someone overlooked at some point in working with that client. I have been using it. I uploaded my entire book to it recently, let it kind of feed and fetch the data as it says, and it came back and it showed me a handful of clients that have been making some changes during AEP. And now I was able to reach out to those clients, talk to them a little bit. In some cases, they didn't even realize they had been switched. And in some cases, they were crosswalked to a different plan as these carriers make changes and merge plans in through service area reductions and service area expansions. And we were able to get those people back in our book. So super awesome platform, man. Instead of waiting 2 or 3 months before you find out that your Medicare Advantage plan got flipped and you're getting a chargeback, you can find out in 24 to 72 hours what is going on with your book of business. And some people might say, hey, wait a second, Tony. If these people have flipped their plan, they've canceled it, I'm not allowed to call them. Well, I'm just going to say bullshit. because right now it's AEP. If that client is making a switch today, they're still in your book of business until the end of December, which means you can definitely call them because you never need permission to call your own book of business, right? So I can call those people, reach out to them, find out what's going on, confirm that maybe indeed the plan switch they made is in their best interest. Maybe it's not, and I can pull them back. And I've been able to get some people back in my book of business for that. I'm not going to pull up the news today because I have a pretty lengthy show for you, but I will mention a couple of posts that I put in the group on Medicare stuff. Basically, Medicare's coming after payments to insurance brokers, particularly FMOs and third-party organizations that are getting a piece of that pie. I talked about this 2 or 3 weeks ago on a news article that came out, and there was another one that came out today that talked about it, and CMS just yesterday shook it up and released for public inspection their Federal Register, basically CMS's ruling that they're looking to make to let us all kind of know what's coming down the pipe for 2025. You can find that in the group, right? But I'm not going to dive into it because we got a fairly lengthy show. So what I'm going to show you guys, in my opinion, could very well blow your mind, because I'm going to show you how you can create massive amounts of content in a very quick, speedy fashion, right? Because again, we got to create more content. Gary Vaynerchuk says we should be doing 100 pieces a day. That's extremely difficult. I'm going to tell you because I've tried. It's not easy, right? But the simple answer is, regardless if it's 3 or 4 or 100, when it comes to the amount of content that we should all be putting out, the simple answer is more. More content is what we should be putting out, right? So I'm going to show you how you can help get more content out while saving a ton of time doing it, using some of the amazing tools that we have been given through artificial intelligence and so forth, right? And be able to bulk create content, whether it's for YouTube shorts, whether it's for Instagram posts, whether it's for TikTok posts, doesn't matter, right? If you want to get a bunch of content out fast, what I'm about to show you is a fantastic way to do it. And I've talked about other strategies, and I'll just mention one that we've used to help launch Avila. And real quick, if you're curious about, say the amount of content that is out there that we should be putting out there, I'll just show you this real quick, right? So one thing to understand is that content creation is a long-term play. So if you're a new agent out there, right, you're brand new in the business, and you're like, man, Tony's about to help me light up my phone. We're going to put out a ton of content. My phone's going to start ringing, and I'm going to start banging down sales. I'm going to be rich. It's going to be so easy. Back up a second. Content creation is the long-term play to marketing, right? If you're a new agent, I believe it's imperative that you start on content creation fast. And I'm going to show you how to get ahead of the curve by being able to do it in bulk. But understand that this isn't the end-all be-all that's all of a sudden going to get your phone to ring and start making you rich, right? And make easy sales for you. Immediately, you're going to need to deal with some immediate direct response type advertising or leads, whether it's direct mail, third-party leads, data transfers, live transfers, whatever you're getting to help generate sales right now, grassroots efforts, running events, whatever it might be. But in the meantime, while you're doing those efforts, you can start building your content strategy, because it will, number one, it will edify your immediate efforts, right? Because people can see that, oh, I can see them on Facebook. I can see them on YouTube. I can see them on Instagram, solidifying the stuff that you're already talking about, right? In those direct response leads and advertising. But then eventually your content strategy will meet your immediate direct marketing strategy, if that makes sense, right? And if you don't think it works, I'm here to tell you it does. I mean, obviously it does, because there's a ton of people out there doing content to generate business, to generate inbound calls, to generate inbound leads and traffic, etc. But I mean, we are 3 years almost exactly to the creation of Avila. And on day one, Grace immediately understood that, hey, I got to put out content. And so she created, for one, this YouTube channel and started putting out content. She's got 270 videos so far. She's only got 563 subscribers, but it's growing. I think she's put on about 60 in the last 28 days, right? But she's got a ton of content out there. Just to give you an example and let you look through this page. It's taken a while, right? This is consistent effort. And just to also tell you, we cheat a little bit. There's really 3 people behind our content engine. We obviously have Grace as the star of the show, but she has 2 producers behind the scenes. One is a full-time producer, virtual assistant that works for us that helps her push out content and as much mass as we can. And then I'm also doing some content strategies for ourselves on the AI side. I manage all the Facebook ads, etc. Right. So it's taken a while. And yesterday, she made 3 sales on new to Medicare people based off of inbound traffic from her YouTube channel. Now, it's not a ton of business. That's 3 apps, but that's 3 apps in one day that were inbound, right? Because these people see her online, they see her content, they begin to know, like, and trust her. They call her, and then she writes the business. So she made like $1,800 yesterday. I don't know if anybody else is making $1,800 a day, but that's an example. So I just kind of want to show that as social proof that this stuff works. It just takes time, and you have to be patient with it and keep pushing at it, keep putting it out there. One content credit strategy that I've talked about before I get into the one that I'm going to teach y'all today. One content strategy that I talked about before that we use to help us with Avila, and that's really easy, truthfully, is to start with the Facebook live video. Just go live on your business page, talk about your business, your insurance, whatever it is that you do. Then take that Facebook live video, upload it to YouTube, because you can download it right off your Facebook page. Boom, now you have 2 pieces of content. It's the same piece of content being repurposed on 2 different channels. Second thing you can do is you can take that YouTube link and you can upload that to a platform called video.ai or video.io. I'm not sure. Joe will know if he's listening. He'll drop it in the comments for you. That will take your long form content and chop it into shorts that you can then repurpose and shoot out. So that one form video that's maybe 5 or 8 minutes that you started with the Facebook Live and then you pushed over to YouTube, right, for 2, now it's chopped up in, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 more pieces of content that you can send out to YouTube Shorts, that you can send out through TikTok, that you can send out through Instagram. So now I've taken one video and I've probably got 15 pieces of content out of that one video that I can put out in one day. I could also take that video and upload it to Sonix.ai, if I remember correctly, Sonix, and it will transcribe that video into text. I can take that text, clean it up a little bit. Now I've got a blog. I can take the video that I put on YouTube and I can embed it inside that blog and put it on my blog page, my website, etc. I can go a step further. I can take that transcript or that blog, polish it a little bit more, submit it to a newspaper, and get it published as an editorial. Now I've got another piece of content, one video. That's about 20 pieces of content right there. Not that difficult. But I'm going to show you guys a way that you can create bulk content. And when I say bulk, I'm talking hundreds, 200, 300 pieces of content in just a couple of hours of little effort. And now you'll have content for days. And this doesn't matter if you're using it for Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Instagram posts, TikTok, etc., or all of the above. What I'm going to show you is a simple strategy using a few tools that you can mass create content and have it for days. Fair enough? Now, couple of prerequisites. Number one, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money, right? There's 2 pieces, there's 2 tools that you're absolutely going to have in order to accomplish what I'm going to show you. The first one is you're going to need Canva Pro. You got to have a subscription to Canva Pro. The free version will not help you do this. It's about $48 a month, something like that. I'm not sure. I pay annually. So I don't know. Maybe if that's tight for you, cancel your Hulu subscription and get Canva Pro instead, because you can use it to make more money and you can go get Hulu later. I don't know. The second thing you're going to need is ChatGPT. Now, there is a free version of ChatGPT 3.5. You could theoretically use that, but I promise you it's not as smart. You really need to upgrade to ChatGPT 4 or ChatGPT Pro that I believe is right at $300 a year, something like that, if I remember, because that's going to help you generate the content that you'll dump into Canva for a bulk creation operation. Pretty simple. And I'm going to walk you through the actual process, right? So those are 2 items you have to have. You got to have Canva Pro. You got to have ChatGPT. Now, something else that I want to make sure and say this. If you're a new agent out there and you're struggling to generate traffic, you're struggling to generate leads, you're struggling to make some money, don't jump into this and replace these activities with your real income producing activities, right? You need to be out there drumming up leads. You need to be out there talking to people right now that can generate money. I talked about this a little bit ago. I'm talking content development is a long-term play, right? It will edify in the short term your direct response efforts if you're using it right. But ultimately, before it starts generating inbound traffic, it's going to be a while. It's taken 3 years before Grace can write 3 apps in one day based off of inbound traffic, right? So make sure that you're being smart with your time and you're not all of a sudden just blowing a couple or 2 or 3 hours in a day, cranking out 100, 200, 300 pieces of content through what I'm about to show you, right? Do that at night. Do it on the weekends when you're not buried in real income producing activities. Fair enough? All right. So the first thing we need is we got to have ChatGPT up and running to accomplish what we're going to do. So let's do it. So I'm actually going to do this live for you right now. Okay. And actually, hang on. Let me stop sharing this one real quick because I want to do something else real fast. Bear with me just a minute. Okay. Bear with me just a minute because I want to show you where I found this idea. I consume a lot of content online, YouTube specifically, right? As I've gotten older, for whatever reason, I struggle to read books in great length. So I consume a lot of content online that I can search for specifically the topics that I'm trying to learn and go for it. So I'm watching a lot of podcasts. I'm watching a lot of videos on automation, on using ChatGPT, on using YouTube to my advantage, on using Canva, on how to better Facebook ads, etc. And I stumbled across a video from this channel right here called AI Genesis. Shut up. All right. So I found this channel and I specifically found shorts for a faceless channel in 18 minutes using AI. Right now, that may not sound like it applies to you because he's talking about YouTube Shorts and a faceless YouTube channel. Maybe that's not your thing, but the methods that I learned in this video are what I'm going to show you about today. I will post this video in the group after this training episode so that you can check that out as well. Oh, I thought I had it. I forgot to add it to stage. Sorry, my bad. But I found this video here, right? You see the title says, I made 700 monetizable YouTube shorts, blah, blah, blah. The channel is AI Genesis. I stumbled across this in my recommended videos. I watched it and I learned what I'm about to show you that, again, you can use for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. And we're going to do it live on the show. So here we go. Let me close that real fast. Boom, bang, pow. So first thing we need is ChatGPT, right? Because we're going to use ChatGPT to create the content, the first part of it at least, right? So here's my ChatGPT thing. You can see that I'm fixed on ChatGPT 4. If you're not familiar with ChatGPT, you'll see that there's ChatGPT 3.5. That's the free version, right? That's the 5th grader version. Let's be honest. The adult version is ChatGPT 4. It is much smarter. It is much deeper. It is much more effective. Now, the key to learning to use ChatGPT is learning how to prompt it, right? And prompts are only limited by your imagination. That is absolutely true. They're only limited by your imagination. And a prompt has a formula or a structure to it, much like writing proper English grammar, writing a sentence. You may remember back when you were a kid and they were teaching you about sentence structure, that every sentence has a very specific structure, right? And if I can remember it, subject, predicate, object, something to that effect, right? John runs home. That's a sentence. And then as you get older, you learn to use adverbs and adjectives and conjunctions and make more complex sentences. Same thing with ChatGPT, right? I need to tell ChatGPT to act in a certain manner, act as a health insurance advisor, act as Christopher Walken, right? I need to tell it to act like a specific entity, so to speak, right? And then I tell it what I want it to do. I want you to create this information for me, this content, and then I want to tell it what format that I want that content in. And right, that's kind of the basic formula, right? Hey, ChatGPT, act like a Medicare advisor and write me the top 10 facts about Medicare in PDF format, as an example, right? And then once I get a little pretty good at that, I want to start expanding that into more complex prompts to really get what I want out of it. And I'm going to show you guys the prompt that I'm talking about today. I saved this on the side so that I don't have to retype the whole damn thing. But we're going to create a post for my good friend out there, Aaron Lovett. And we're going to create some bulk content for Aaron Lovett right here live on the show today. So right here on the little send message button, I'm going to copy and paste this prompt that I already wrote, but I'm going to tell you what it is. Now, I believe in praising ChatGPT, so I always start off with, hey, you're always so helpful. Something like that, or hey, you're doing a great job for me. Because let's face it, artificial intelligence is going to take over the world and try to destroy us one day. So I'm trying to be on his good side already. So I said, hey, you're always so helpful. I have a new task for you today to help me with some Facebook posts. Please provide me, and actually let me fix one thing, acting as a health insurance expert. Please provide me with 5 of the most frequently asked questions about health insurance, including the appropriate answer, the primary text for the Facebook post, and hashtags. Answers should be concise while still providing clarity. And for the purpose of what we're going to do today, the last sentence is absolutely imperative. Please provide your responses using the following table format: question, bar, answer, bar, Facebook text, bar, hashtags. Right? That's the prompt that I'm using. I hit this little send button and watch what happens. Holy AI, Batman, look at that. I mean, damn. All right, so what did it do? It did exactly what I told it to do. It came up with the frequently asked question, what is a deductible? It gives me the answer. A deductible is the amount you pay for health services before your health insurance begins to pay. It gives me the Facebook text, which is the text that goes above your post. And it even gives me the hashtags, right? So I have basically 5 Facebook posts ready to go right there. Okay. That's simple, not that hard. Hang with me. Okay. The reason that I want this in a table format is because I'm going to take that data, I'm going to put it into a Google Sheet that I can trace into Canva and have it create the content for me very quickly. And again, we're going to do it live on the show. So I've got my content, right? So now we're going to bounce to Canva. Actually, let me show you this first. So I did this for Grace recently. Okay. I had ChatGPT. Here's what my Google Sheet looks like. I had ChatGPT create a quiz on Medicare for me, right? I had it create a quiz for me. And I asked for 100 quiz questions. And I took all that data that I just showed you in that little table and I punched it into this Google Sheet. I didn't type it in, copy and paste. There's probably even a quicker way to do it, but it really wasn't that hard, right? So I built this document, and you'll understand why in a minute. And I'm going to jump ahead a little further, and I'm going to show you the end result real fast. Now, it's in Spanish, right? So bear with me. This is in Spanish. Now, that's a really, really simple post, right? It's not like super fancy. That's simple. But we're talking about generating AI content that's going to help support my deeper, long form, higher level content. And that's the video that we're doing for shorts. But what I'm going to show you all today, and that's a more complex one. And I don't have time to show you how to build the complex one. I'm going to show you how to build a simple one. So I'm going to show you right now using, like I said, my friend Aaron Levitt. We're going to show you how to create a whole bunch of Facebook content or LinkedIn content really fast. And the reason I'm choosing Aaron Levitt is because, one, she's phenomenal. I'm a big fan of her. But I noticed that she posts a lot of content on LinkedIn, right? That she uses to brand herself and her business. And she does it very simply. It's usually just a photo of her in a really cool setting. And then it has some stuff about Levitt Insurance, maybe some kind of fact about health insurance, something to that effect. And she's constantly putting that out there so that people get used to seeing her face, so that people start to look at her as a sphere of influence or a person of interest, so that when she does talk to them, they're like, oh, yeah, I've heard that name, or oh, yeah, I've seen that person, and they know, like, and trust you, and they become a buyer, right? So while that Facebook video I just showed you, or that YouTube short video that I just showed you is a little more complex version of what we're doing, I'm going to do a simpler one that really only has a couple of elements, so it can be super fast. And this will be a great way that you can get a ton of content out there very, 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 very quickly. So we've got our content from ChatGPT. Next thing we're doing is going to dive into Canva. Let me re-share my screen again for you. Un momento, por favor. So, all right. So we are here in Canva. This is Canva Pro. And we're going to do something super simple. We're just going to go create a design. And we're going to say we want a Facebook post. And it's going to pull up a blank Facebook post with the exact dimensions that we need. All right. I've already got a few things fixed up here, so just follow along. You guys should be able to see all of this. Boom. You should see now. Yeah. Boom. There you go. So there's my blank canvas. So I'm just going to really quick create something kind of basic. There's my friend Aaron Levitt. Hoorah. Looks great as always. We're just going to drop her over here. Nice and simple, right? Pretty simple. We're going to find us a background image. Well, backgrounds. How hard is that? Oh my goodness, Canva. All I got to do is search background. Pow, there's a background. Move, set images background. Boom, there we go. So now we got a background. We got, boom, we got her. Now we're going to add a heading, right? I mean, I'm telling you, this is super easy. Add a heading. There it is. What heading perhaps are we going to use? Well, we're going to get it from ChatGPT. What is a deductible? It's that very first one that we put together, right? Boom. What is a deductible? There it is. Pick your size of your font that you want. Oh, locks is off. Boom. Right? Something simple like that, right? Nothing crazy. And then I want to post the answer in there as well. So we're going to add the subheading. ChatGPT tells me that the answer is here. A deductible is blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this live on Canva, and it's not to teach you how to do Canva, and this is obviously not going to be a very phenomenal post, not going to be hyper artistic. I'm doing this to show you the process. So please bear with me a second. Oh my goodness. Moving stuff there. Thank you. Right? So there's our post. And if we want, we'll put a logo down here or whatever. I don't know. I think I have some logos in here just for grins. Let's find one somewhere. Or let's just say we had a QR code. Who knows? Whatever we're trying to do, right? Just, again, I'm just creating something simple. So there's my template, so to speak. Okay. And that's my first post straight from ChatGPT, right? Now I'm not going to have to do this for all the other ones. I only have to do this activity once, one time only. And then now that I have the template of my post or my artwork created, I'm going to do something super cool. So from here, we're going to go over to this little button over here on your left-hand panel called Apps. I assume you guys can see this. Yes, you can. So boom, right over here on your toolbar is this button called apps. Now inside of apps, we need to search them. The one we're going to search for is bulk create. Bulk create is the app that we're searching for inside of Canva. It's right there at the top, bulk create. Hit plus. And then it's going to ask me, how do I want to add my data? Do I want to enter it manually, upload a CSV, and there's more data sources. Now we're going to enter it manually, but it's really not that manual. And when I do, it pulls up this, and it gives me a test table, right? I want to clear that table real quick and start with the fresh one. That's why we asked ChatGPT to provide all the info in table format. You with me? And then I just go back to my table that I got from ChatGPT, right? This table here, drag and drop or, copy all this stuff. And actually, in this particular case, I only want the questions and answers. But first, I got to get these into a Google Doc. Right? So I need a Google Doc so that I can copy and paste all that data. There it is. Boom. We have question, answer, Facebook text, and hashtags for each of the posts that we're going to make. And I'm only doing 5 right now because we don't have time to do 100. I'm not even going to make all 5 of them, but I'm going to show you how it works, right? So there's our table. We're going to take this table and we're going to copy everything in here, including, or actually in this particular instance, I only need question and answer. My apologies, because that's what's actually going on the post. The Facebook text and hashtags we use when we make the post. So I'm going to copy these two columns of data, and I'm going to cruise back over to Canva. And I'm just going to paste them right in here. Paste. And there they are. Done. Now I have it. Now I have to connect the data that's in my actual post to that table. See, it says connect data. What were my question was one of them? Oh, don't tell me I did this wrong. No, they're in there. Oh, yeah, right click. Duh. Okay, yeah. So I go back to my post. I've only done this a couple times. Like I said, I just learned this. So I'm going to right click on the element in my post. In this case, it's the question, right? I'm going to right click on this one and right click on the element in your page to connect it. Boom. And of course, it's not showing up. Son of a gun. Oh my goodness. Don't you love it when things fail? I had this nailed yesterday. Question answer. Done. Right click. All right. Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here, so I'm sorry. What's supposed to occur, and it worked earlier, I'm not sure why it's not working right now, is I right click on this particular piece. And there is supposed to be an item in here that says connect data, right? Very simply. And then I tell it, oh, that's the question that's inside that table. And then I go here and I right click, connect the data. Oh, that's the answer that's in that table. And then I click bulk create and it zaps them all out. Bear with me a minute. I'm not really sure why it's not doing it the way I want it to fire. All right, so in that case, I'll show you another way. Bear with me. Hang tight. We're doing good on time. Whoo. So here's the very complex one that I made for Grace. Okay, And as you can see, there's a bunch of shit on that Canva page because it's a longer video. It's got all kinds of stuff moving around. This is a little more complex. But all I had to do when I went to apps, bulk create, enter my data manually, clear my table. Oh, that might be what I did wrong. All right, I'm going to try this again with Aaron's thing. Hang tight, y'all. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I'll sing for y'all in the minute, so in the interim. So here we go. So I'm pretty sure I know what I did wrong here. Just bear with me. Boop, boop, boop. So apps, bulk create. Add manually. Clear, and then add text. I need 2 columns. I think that's the issue. Copy and paste. All right, question answer. Done. Now right click. No, it's still not working. Okay, I apologize because I can't figure out why it's not pulling data fields on there, because it worked like jamming earlier when I did it for some of these other ones. But again, ultimately, the idea is that you right click on this. It's supposed to tell you connect data. You connect it to the specific column that it belongs to. Get the other one, and then you click the bulk create, and it zaps out all the posts for you. So to show you a better version of it, I'll show you the one we did for Grace real quick. Do, 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 do. Is that the one I want to show you? Yeah. All right. So here we go. Let's do it this way. Sorry, y'all. All right. So this is this very complex video post that I made. Again, but I'm just going to show you how to connect the data and how it works. Right? Fair enough. So we're going to go to, again, bulk create. Under apps, dummy, bulk create. Under bulk create, it's going to ask for the data. Enter it manually, right? So I want to clear this table, and then I need to go to my spreadsheet where I have the ridiculous amount of information from my Medicare quiz, right? This ridiculous one. And I'm about to make 100 videos. So I'm basically going to copy all of these very simply. Copy. Back to StreamYard. Right, back to StreamYard, and then we just paste. Now there they all are. And hit done. And it's still doing it. Isn't it? You son of a... And this is disappointing because I did this 3 times yesterday on 2 different channels that I'm working on, and it worked like a charm. So I'm not sure what step I'm all of a sudden missing. So I may have to reconfigure what I'm thinking about here. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to do it live or whatever little detail I'm missing, because this is the exact process I went through yesterday. So I apologize. But again, the concept. I create that template post, and then I click on the elements inside that post that I want to track to my Google Doc. Right click, it's connect data, and you just tell it which column it falls in. You hit the done button, and all of a sudden you watch Canva go, and it creates however many posts, 100, 200, 500. I don't know how many you've created, right? But it will bulk create all those posts for you, and they're going to be sitting in your Canva library. And then from there, you can take that, you can upload it to a social media calendaring or planning platform, and now you've got a post for the next 100 days. that's going to pop out every single time, right? Pretty slick. That's pretty much how it goes. So I am going to do this again after this video. I'm going to record it on a little Loom and I'll upload it later, whatever little detail that I'm for some reason overlooking in that process of why it won't grab my data to connect it to the Google Doc. Worked like a charm yesterday, and I was blown away because I created 300 videos for a new channel that I'm creating that's offshoot. It's not related to insurance. And then I created 100 videos for Grace, right? And all we're doing now is taking those videos, and every day she's got another video added to the level of content that she's putting out, right? So that's another piece that's going to go out there. So sorry that I didn't get it to nail exactly like I wanted to. I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here, but I will record another short video. I'm going to figure out what that little detail is of why it's not showing the connect data. And we'll get a little short video and I'll drop it in after this later. If you guys have any questions or comments for a couple of minutes, I will stay on the line for a couple of minutes if y'all want to chat about something else. But the truth is content creation is king, right? Content creation generates attention. Attention is what? Attention is currency. So if you're not putting out content, put out content. Why aren't you putting out content? You don't have to put out crazy because this is super simple. Like what I'm showing you guys is a very easy way that I can blast out a ton of Instagram posts, a ton of Facebook posts, a ton of LinkedIn posts, whatever it is that I'm creating. I can bulk create it using ChatGPT to give me the data and then using the bulk create function within Canva. And then bam, I've got a ton of material and then I can use that and push it out. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate your patience. Like I said, this is something I learned on Sunday, and then I tested it yesterday to see if what I was learning if actually held water, and I was blown away when it did. I was floored because I created about 500 pieces of content, lickety split. Took me maybe 2 hours, and I had 500 pieces of content. They're all sitting in my Canva library, and now I can take those and push them out, get them to our audience. And I know you're probably looking at some of this content, man, that's really simple content, Merwin. It is. It's simple content. It's meant to be engaging, to get my prospect to watch it, view it, and hopefully pick up the phone and call me. But even if they don't pick up the phone and call me, when I call them or when they see my Facebook ad or when they see something else, they're going to remember me, and my conversion efforts should convert at a higher rate, right? Because they've seen all this other content that I keep pushing out. Right. So they're familiar with the brand. They begin to know, like, and trust you. And when my agent actually does call them, they're like, oh, yeah, Vila, or oh, yeah, Grace, I've seen your stuff out there. I'm interested. Talk to me. And they know, like, and trust you. They convert higher. So that's pretty much the simple of it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of that. And bear with me. Let me clean up my process. I'll reshoot a little short video on that connect data process, and I'll drop it back in the comments this later, and you can watch it again later. So, thanks again for tuning in. Tuesday training is always fun. This was a fun one to try to do on the fly. I appreciate y'all's patience and hanging in there with me. And we'll see you next week. Always live, always happening here with actionable content live from Austin, Texas, 9 a.m. Central. We'll see you next Tuesday. Y'all have an awesome, awesome, awesome day.